Stars of Dreamworld and Beyond. Chapter 3. The Knights of Guidance. Hushal approached Monica as she was interacting with the linkiometer. She noticed him and smiled. "Say, Hushal, you seem to have been enjoying your little adventures in the other worlds. How about we make this a regular job for you, at least until King Lin and Queen Zella return? Would you like to become my assistant in Linkium?" Hushal happily nodded in agreement. "Great! I just received a word from a group of people. They're from our own world, Dreamworld, but come from a place called Heavenia. They want to visit a world called Nowbond to search for a rare creature called the Monix. They asked me if they could be transported to Nowbond through Linkium, and I accepted. They call themselves the Knights of Guidance, a group of knights sworn to serve their lady. From what I've been told, they try to do their best in maintaining peace in the region. They should arrive here shortly," said Monica. "Who would arrive here shortly?" said a voice coming from behind. Monica and Hushal turned around and saw a group of 3 young men and a young lady approach. My, Hushal and I were talking about you less than a second ago. "Welcome to Linkium," said Monica. "Mark, a pleasure to meet you too. I was honored with the title The Sword of Light by Our Lady. Barry, named the Spear of Lightning by Our Lady. I'm Irene, they call me the Storm Maiden. Samuel, the Bud of Spring. We are honored to have met you. I only see 4 of you though. If I recall correctly, I was told there are 7 of you," asked Monica. "The other 4 have a few tasks to finish and will follow us shortly," said Mark. "Will we be honored with your company, Hushal?" Hushal nodded. "Alright then, I'll open up the gate to Nowbond. Your friends can follow you through the gate once they arrive," said Monica, interacting with the linkiometer. Suddenly, on one end of Linkium, a gate was opened, revealing nothing but white light on the other side. "This gate will take you to the Livid jungle in Nowbond. This area is a major habitat for the Monix, and there are no restrictions placed on capturing the creature. Please stay safe and take good care of Hushal," said Monica. "Please accept our sincerest gratitude," said Barry. The 4 knights, along with Hushal, moved towards the gate, while Monica waved her hands goodbye. "After you, kind sir," said Mark, smiling. Hushal passed the gate, and his vision was covered with nothing but white light. The white light disappeared, and Hushal found himself in a lush jungle with tall trees. He looked behind to see the 4 knights appear out of nowhere, as if passing through an invisible door. "So this is the Livid jungle, I see. The Monix reside at the far north, towards the upper grounds of the jungle," said Mark, pointing towards the deep ends of the jungle. "Let's carry on then," said Irene. The 5 walked a few steps, only to be stopped by a cry. "Stop right there," said a voice from the path to their right. A young man riding a sturdy large creature rushed towards them, with a girl behind him riding a scaled creature with glistening wings. "You 5, where are your rides?" said the young boy. Mark stepped forward and said, "Kind sir, we come from a distant world. I'm afraid we do not have creatures of our own to ride." The young boy and girl looked at each other, almost baffled. "So you don't have a rider permit?" "You cannot pass then," said the young boy. "And on whose authority are you speaking?" said Barry in an enraged tone. Mark looked back and gestured at Barry to calm down. "We don't recall that a permit is needed to enter this jungle," said Mark. "Well, you don't actually need one," said the young girl. "Then what right do you have to stop us?" said Barry. "It's too dangerous out there if you don't have a ride. My sister and I won't let you pass," said the young boy. Barry clenched his fist and closed his eyes, looking extremely irritated. "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Mark, a knight from a distant world called Dreamworld. We came here to this world seeking to capture a Monix," said Mark. The young boy and girl burst out in laughter. "Capture a Monix, you say, and without a ride too," laughed the young boy. "Listen here, young man, we've heard enough from you. Why don't you put your words to work and challenge us to a battle? We will show you just how capable we are." "Fine then, just don't act so shocked when we win," said the young girl. "Mark and I will show you too," said Barry. "I'll be behind you guys in case you need my help," said Samuel. "Then I'll stand as a referee with Hushal to my side, and it will be a fair 2 versus 2 battle," said Irene. "The match will start with Team Barry and Mark against Team Alyssa and my brother, Poe, with the help of my pal Demothin and Alyssa's ride Tyrene. Alright then, Team Barry and Mark against Team Alyssa and Poe. Let the 2 teams take their sides," said Irene. The two teams faced each other while the spectators moved out of the way. 1,000 points to each member. Once your points fall to 0, you're out. The team that loses all of its members first loses the match, explained Irene. This fight will be easy, said Poe. Ready or not, here we come, said Alyssa. A coin will be flipped to decide who goes first. Team Alyssa, make your pick, said Irene. We choose tails, said Alyssa. A large coin appeared and was flipped in the middle of the arena. It landed heads and disappeared. Team Barry and Mark will make the first move, announced Irene. Hushal's multivice activated, and he took his time reviewing each of the fighters' attacks. Hushal, allow me to explain each fighter's attack. Fine then. Using the multivice, Hushal instructed Mark to use Swords of Light. 2 opponents means 2 swords will appear, said Mark. Hushal, would you like me to aim both on one target, or would you like me to attack each opponent with a sword? Hushal chose his targets using the multivice. Mark raised his sword and both fleeing swords pointed towards Alyssa and Tyreen. He then moved his own sword and the 2 swords of light were sent flying towards Alyssa and Tyreen and clashed with them, disappearing upon impact. Alyssa and Tyreen lost 800 points and have 200 points remaining, announced Irene. It's time for Team Alyssa to make their move. Demothin, attack with flaming pellets, cried Poe. A pellet of flames was shot from Demothin's mouth and exploded near Mark. A circle of flames then appeared around Mark, only to disappear a moment after. Oh no, these flames mean that Mark has the burn condition. The next attacks that land on him will grow stronger from the flames and will deal double their damage, explained Samuel. Demothin shot another pellet of flames which grew in intensity from the flames surrounding Mark. Its explosion became more violent. Instead of dealing 200 damage, the second pellet dealt 400 damage because Mark was inflicted with the burn condition, explained Samuel. Team Alyssa's turn is up. Time for Team Barry to make their move, announced Irene. Using the multivice, Hushal instructed Barry to attack using Lightning Strike on Poe and Demothin. Watch this, said Barry as sparks of electricity coalesced into a spear in his gloved hand. Barry quickly moved forward and threw his electric spear on Poe and Demothin. Poe and Demothin lost 600 points and have 400 points remaining, announced Irene. Sparks of electricity appeared around Poe and Demothin only to disappear instantly. Poe and Demothin have been electrocuted. This means that their attacks will lose all additional effects. It's time for Team Alyssa to make their move, announced Irene. Demothin, attack with flaming pellets once again, said Poe. Demothin shot a pellet of flame towards Mark, which grew in intensity from the flames surrounding him and exploded violently. Mark has no points left. He is ineligible for battle and is out of the battlefield, announced Irene. I fought with honor and lost with honor, said Mark, leaving the battlefield and joining the spectators. Demothin then shot another pellet of flame aimed at Barry, which exploded near him. Since Poe and Demothin are electrocuted, their attack loses its additional effects. This means it no longer inflicts a burn condition on their target, explained Samuel. Team Alyssa's turn is over. Time for Team Barry to make their move, announced Irene. Using the multivice again, Hushal instructed Barry to use Lightning Strike on Alyssa and Tyreen. A spear of lightning formed in Barry's hand, to which he threw towards Alyssa and Tyreen. Alyssa and Tyreen are out of points. Our battle is over, but our passion goes on, said Alyssa as she headed out of the battlefield along with Tyreen. Time for Team Alyssa to make their move, announced Irene. Demothin fired 2 pellets of flames from its mouth, aiming both at Barry, which exploded near him. Barry lost 400 points and has 400 points remaining. Time for Team Barry to make their move. Using the multivice once again, Hushal instructed Barry to attack Poe and Demothin. Sparks coalesced into a spear of electricity which was hurled towards Poe and Demothin. Poe and Demothin have no points remaining. They are disqualified, announced Irene. You did a good job, Demothin, said Poe, leaving the battlefield, with Demothin behind him. Team Alyssa is out of members. Team Barry wins the match, announced Irene. I will honor Our Lady till I breathe my last breath, said Barry before leaving the battlefield and joining the spectators. Alright, you won fair and square, said Alyssa. We're sorry we doubted you. You are more than fit to pass through the jungle, said Poe. All's well that ends well, said Barry. Hushal, you have proven to be a great instructor. I would be honored if you let me join you as an ally in your journey, said Mark. Hushal's multivice floated in front of him and its screen activated. Mark, the Sword of Light, was registered, was displayed on the screen. I'm in as well, said Barry. Barry, the Spear of Lightning, was registered, was displayed on the multivice. Don't forget about Samuel and me, said Irene. Irene, the Storm Maiden, was registered, was displayed on the multivice. Samuel, the Bud of Spring, was registered, was displayed on the multivice. Would you be willing to accept us as your allies as well? Asked Poe. Of course, replied Hushal. Poe and Demethan were registered, was displayed on the multivice. Alyssa and Tyrene were registered, was displayed on the multivice. Alright then, we have a Monix to capture, said Irene. We would like to help you if you don't mind. Consider it as a repayment for the trouble we caused you, said Alyssa. You are more than welcome to join us, said Mark. Hushal and the rest took a good look at the jungle up ahead.